Hey everyone, my name is Callie Smith. I wanted to apologize up front. I'm getting over laryngitis, so if my voice goes out during my presentation, please bear with me. The topic that I selected for my research paper was organizational structure and consistency. And while that sounds like a really broad topic, I did a lot of research to narrow that down. So the question that I sought to answer in my research was, how does organizational structure of an organization influence that company as a whole? So one of my first findings in my research was that organizational structure influences not only the goals and activities of a company, but it also influences the direction, where that company is going and how it is going to get there. But it also sets the tone and the theme, or the mood, if you will, of that company and how it's going, to go about doing all of its tasks, both inside the company and outside the company. So when I was doing my research, the first thing that came to my mind, actually, as funny as it is the restaurant Chipotle Mexican Grill. And so I know that sounds really random, but bear with me. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna explain how it all comes together. Another thing that I found when I first started was that organizational structure is both a dependent and independent variable. So the organizational structure within a company is dependent because it could stand by itself. You could have an organizational structure within a company that doesn't relate to really anything else in the organization. It doesn't influence anything else other than really how they operate. But it's also an independent function because, or a dependent function because it does influence other areas. It does really drive other areas. So moving on. Another point that I'd like to make is that there are two real types of organizational structure that we know, and that's centralized and decentralized organization. Centralized organization is where the decision-making process comes from the top. It's from the top, it kind of trickles down. The higher-ups in the organization are the ones who are really primarily responsible for that decision-making process. Decentralization is where the decisions are kind of allocated throughout the company. Different levels of people within the company are allowed to make primary, influential decisions for the organization as a whole. Now, this is the type of organizational structure that Chipotle Mexican Grill uses. While it is a franchise, national and international franchise now, each store is individually owned and operated, meaning that each store has a manager and owner-operator that make those decisions about that particular location. So one of the things that we know about Chipotle is that they have a mission, and their mission is to change the food industry. They want to alter the way that we as the public and consumers view food and consume food. Their mission, according to their website, is to cultivate a better world through food with integrity, that's their movement, by generating conversation and by also supporting local efforts to shift the future of the food industry and farming. So essentially, sustainability is key. They operate off of local communities, which allows them to know exactly where the food is coming from. There are a lot of different ways that they do this, that they relate to their communities. One of those ways is through the individual owner operation of those different locations. But when I was doing my undergrad, I was assigned a restaurant to monitor their social media. And ironically enough, I was assigned Chipotle Mexican Grill. I had to monitor and assess their social media interactivity for 3 weeks, periodically every single day for 3 weeks. And what I found in that study that I conducted, and this was a few years ago, so I'm sure that it's even improved more since then, but was that the social media team for Chipotle was highly interactive with the community and with their consumers. Virtually every status they posted, every comment, every concern that was expressed on their pages of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and others was met with some response from someone from their social media team. And that really says a lot, because not only are you seeing that they're engaging and that they care and that they're interacting with their consumers and their fans, you also see that they're really implementing the community feel, the community and the sustainability trends that they are incorporating or attempting to incorporate from even the highest level of their organization. It's decentralized. They are answering questions to each individual person based on their needs or their concerns. And that's a really cool thing to see from an organization, for a company as big as Chipotle that has such a huge influence. They also have other social media campaigns. In 2011, they launched, it was a 3-minute video of a scarecrow that was wandering through the world, his scarecrow world, and it attempted to expose the negativity of industrialized food. Now, they posted this video to YouTube. It had millions of views within just a few hours. But not only that, but it really expressed the very central message to the company. And they did this through social media. They didn't purchase any TV ad space. They didn't go to any extremes. They made this little animated video, posted it to YouTube, and it really generated so much response from consumers and others. Even critics were like, wow, this is crazy. This is really, really good. So the other media campaigns have really expressed their overall message that the company pushes. So the result that I found with my research is that organizational structure, an effective organizational structure, really can make or break a company. It unifies the message that they are sending. That generates success. When consumers see that consistency from the top to the bottom, they're more likely to invest in that organization, invest in that company, spend their money there versus somewhere else. So what I'd like to note finally is that Chipotle Mexican Grill, this is how it's all tying together, is that it really exemplifies my hypothesis that organizational structure is influential of the organization and how they are successful by providing a basis of consistency throughout that company. They really exemplify consistency from the very highest ranking officials in their organization down to the very bottom. And it's definitely something that I would like to see as a consumer in more organizations. I hope you guys enjoyed it and have a great rest of the course.